ZBCN token utility Flywheel. XRP holders, XLM holders, HBAR holders will be paying attention to ZBCN. You already see XRP holders, some XRP holders already dipping their toes into the ZBCN ecosystem, buying, holding ZBCN as they do with XRP. Because this is one of the projects, in my opinion, that is one of the better altcoins to have in your portfolio. It's one of the altcoins that is holding up well against the overall market, not making new lows. I've giving you guys examples of projects that have made new lows, and what the project is bringing to the space with remittances, instant payments, neobank infrastructure, partnerships, massive partnerships with projects like Tangem, companies like Tangem, partnerships with Canton Network, Circle, integrations with USDC. You won't find, something like that, a project like that is accomplishing things like that easy, right? So this is why this project is very rare. And obviously, I say never invest more than you're willing to lose, and none of what I say is financial advice. But if you're new to crypto or you've been in the space for a long time, having some exposure or having some of this project in your portfolio, I think will be beneficial for you going into the future, the next bull run, the next altcoin season. I think this is one of the projects that will do very well going into, market conditions that favor risk on assets, right? So when you see projects like XRP, ISO compliant projects really start to take off, remember that is a sector on CoinMarketCap. XRP, XLM, HBAR, ISO compliant projects finally starting to take off. ZBCN is also one of those projects, and I think ZBCN will also shine along with, these types of projects that are, basically disrupting the traditional finance system and recreating that for crypto with the use of blockchain technology. Enterprises already use ZBCN, corporations and retail investors as well. And I think it's only going to be, again, a flywheel, a token utility flywheel, meaning that it's going to be a snowball effect. It keeps rolling, it gets bigger, and keeps growing, right? So ZBCN sits at the center of the ZBEC ecosystem. Inside the ZBEC super app, ZBCN powers platform fees, staking rewards, incentives, and soon access to premium features. As usage grows across ZBEC's product suite, ZBCN's utility continues to expand. As usage grows, ZBEC's products across ZBEC's product suite, ZBCN's utility continues to expand. 49,000 impressions for this, just under 50,000 impressions. What does this mean? Well, guess what? The community, including the team, investors, advisors, partners, buy, trade, stake, and hold ZBCN. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this the way I'm looking at it. That's the treasury. Revenue from ZBEC products used for, the network development. It goes to the community. And then we go to the service fees. All payroll and super app fees paid in ZBCN. And you can see the little images here, right? This is what you call a flywheel. A flywheel meaning that it's the company, the project, the startup is going to benefit, and the usage of this continuous snowball effect, this continuous wheel of growth, of production, of use case, utility, just continues to benefit ZBCN and its holders, investors as well, the team as well. Buyback. Revenue from the ZBEC card program is used to buy ZBCN on open markets, reducing circulating supply. Rewards and incentives. ZBCN is used as rewards and incentives mechanism throughout the ZBEC network. The longer you hold ZBCN, you have rewards and incentives for holding. And then we have staking. Stake ZBCN earns yield for holders. And that's how this flywheel plays out. That's how this flywheel takes place, where it basically goes around in a circle, right? the treasury grows, then it spreads to the community, holders, investors, advisors, corporations, enterprises, etc. that use ZBCN. The service fees from the super app and the card program, etc., creates revenue for ZBCN. They make money from this from their company, their project with the utility. Then they could buy back ZBCN. ZBCN is already a fully diluted project. 1% left, not much of a difference. So that means all of the coins or tokens are in the hands of the holders, investors, team, partners, etc. With the buybacks, you apply demand here on already limited supply. You toss the buybacks on that, all of a sudden you have what is called a supply squeeze. So demand greater than supply is beneficial for the overall growth of the project. The rewards and incentives helps holders, investors, etc. to hold and stake their ZBCN, once again reducing unnecessary sell pressure, because people are just staking and holding, and then that is just a snowball effect, continuously going in a circle of growth, a wheel of growth, right? So like I said, this is bullish right here. This is very bullish. And like I said, XRP, XLM holders, HBAR, ISO compliant projects, I think will be the next altcoin season. A lot of the altcoin season retail interest or retail money will go to the ISO compliant projects, and I think ZBCN is one of the undervalued ones. That's why it's gonna have more upside in comparison to its peers. So I think, like I said, ZBCN is one of the projects, one of the underrated altcoins to have exposure to in your portfolio. Nothing I say is guaranteed. Nothing I say is financial advice. But that's why I say some exposure to it, right? You don't have to break the bank on any project. One investment at a time. Become successful here, then you compound your gains in the future. And what they're doing here with ZBCN is very bullish. ZBCN holding this 202 level. I think 100,000 ZBCN is a good bet to make, sitting just under 200 mil market cap. Again, you could not easily, but let me not say easily, because these market conditions for this past like 6-8 months have been dramatic, terrible, okay? But you could definitely see in the future, medium term, long term, 5 cent ZBCN, 10 cent, maybe even up to 18 to 30 cents per ZBCN on a long enough time frame. Once the project delivers, once the team delivers, once the community grows, that is very possible, very viable here for ZBCN. Crypto Queen 2026 will be the best year yet. The largest XRP conference in the world brings together builders, institutions, and infrastructure. All eyes on what ZBet Network will unveil. Major partnership drops coming for the XRP Las Vegas event, and of course ZBCN is one of the presenters at this event. George San Martin, 5 more days for the last unlock. Mobile app coming couple more weeks. Sharing the stage with XRP next month. 3K holders away from 100K holders. Wow, just 3,000 holders away. Top tier listings still to come. Coinbase, Binance, Robinhood, ZBCN, the RWA King. Right, from the team as well, they also made an update here where you could check out new super app desktop experience for ZBEC cards. ZBEC is building financial infrastructure for the real-time economy, powering cards and payroll tools for AI agents, teams, and users worldwide. ZBEC is building financial infrastructure for the real-time economy, powering cards and payroll tools for AI agents, teams, and users worldwide. Very bullish stuff, guys. Extremely bullish. Can't wait for the iOS version. So they're keeping, like I said, they're keeping a head down. They're paying attention to what's happening. As you can see, even in the super app, you could have use case for AI agents as well, which I think is going to be a very massive sector, right? As I cover on my channel. If you guys pay attention, I've called a few projects that even in these market conditions have gone 5x, 10x if you're paying attention, right? But yeah, those were AI projects, AI projects that dealt with AI agents or AI infrastructure. So ZBCN having their head down, paying attention to that, building stuff like this out within the super app. Very bullish, right? Very, very bullish. The guy that posted this doesn't miss. So like I said, guys, this is what a lot of people are looking for. See, in 2022, what happened? We had this bear flag, then we got a breakdown, okay? I've seen this so much on my timeline, like 10 times I see people tweeting the same thing. I don't know if it's gonna be that easy, right? Because guess what? If you're a person that does leverage and you short, this would be the easy short, right? Just wait until 65K, 66K, wait for confirmation and then put in a short, and then boom, you make a ton of money. Are the market makers gonna make it that easy, or do we blast out of here? I don't know, man. That's why I say I'm playing it by ear. I don't know what happens, man. I don't know. But I don't think the market makers are going to make it that easy. Or they could. We could be in a simulation and they just be like, oh, well, send it down, boom, right? So if they do send it down, again, expect ZBCN to maybe retest 201, 2015 at the low before the next alt season or bull run begins, right? This is from Clement. I'm sorry to the bears, but I don't see a world where BTC goes to 40K while Sailor is buying 2,000 coins per day. Calling strategy, whatever you want, but it's causing a ridiculous amount of buy pressure for BTC, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Bottom appears to be in. It doesn't say the bottom isn't, but it appears to be, because Sailor MicroStrategy is buying a ton of Bitcoin. They just recently hit a new record of 2,038 Bitcoin. 50% above yesterday's record. 50% above yesterday's record, not a typo. So they doubled their Bitcoin holdings by 50%. One person is buying Bitcoin because everyone else is scared to do it is better than nobody buying Bitcoin, okay? Because that helps the overall macro of the market. That helps us to be bullish, right? One of the outlier accounts that I check out, BTC bull market signals, has already appeared. The bull market has resumed after a year, right? Now, don't take my word for this, but this is one of the outlier accounts because nobody thinks we're going to have a bull run in 2026 anymore. Like, I think it's confirmed that most people, well, obviously there's always going to be YouTubers that's always bullish, but I'm talking about X on the timeline. Nobody thinks we're going to be bullish for the rest of the year. They think we're going to crash, man. So, I don't know. You know, I'm just showing different views of what people think. Are we going to enter a bull run for the rest of the year, start the year for 2026 still be a bull run, or are we gonna, make a move like this in 2022, right? We'll see, man. I'm playing it by ear, paying attention to everything. Like I said, I have exposure to the market, but I do have money on the sideline in case it crashes and I want to add more, right? So, as always, none of this is financial advice. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Join my Discord, follow me on X, and subscribe to my Eclipse channel. All linked in the description. It really helps when you support those links, guys. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. None of this is financial advice, and I'll catch you in the next